Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here with the new management for this live stream, Nolly D. Nolly's gonna take over hosting duties. I'm just up here right now because I do have just one announcement before we get started. What's up, Stuck? Hey, Kimber, Taco, thanks for joining. Oregon Road, thank you for coming in to support Nolly D. Cheryl, thanks. Everyone who's in here, thank you guys for being here. So the announcement I just wanted to make was I decided to go ahead and go with memberships for my channel. I just launched it like an hour or so ago. So there's two tiers. Basically, for the first tier, you guys can get is shout out, and then there's 2 videos per week exclusively for you guys. Then the second tier is you get the 2 videos plus there are going to be 2 live streams specifically for those people who sign up for the second tier. Second tier, we're going to wait for the live stream, so I at least have 10 people on that. That way it's not just like 1 or 2 people in a live stream. That can get pretty boring really quick. So just so you guys know, that's there. So Nolly, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and step down, and I'm going to post a link for anyone that wants to come on and chat with Nolly. Nolly's already got a full show going, and we're going to start with some music that Nolly would like to share with us. So I'm going to step down and put that up.
Sat back, trapped in the big bubble, say Chuck that man, it ain't worth the trouble. Tough really doing it, I think we all own it. A mindset that don't seem to get, we've outgrown it. Now I'm sat back, poking at the big bubble, say talk back, you're bigger than the trouble. And the fall, I see you and me safe in a place in the middle. A break from the rat race just for a little. Chose the moment and froze it forever in time. Took a piece of us and wrapped it up in a rhyme. You got 13 reasons for you to go away. Here's 3 more for why you gotta stay.
I forgot to unmute myself. Well, hello, guys. Hey, Chief Turtle. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
I am great. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm scared I might get drawn and quartered while I'm here, but, you know, hopefully you guys won't be too rough on me. Okay, so what I have planned, and I totally closed my window that I need. Hang on. I should have left the music going. That was Bloodywood. That was Veerey. It's a song that I love dearly, but the band who did it, all their original music, all their original.
Oh.
Of course you can. Hello, stuck in the YouTube.
Hey, Nolly, what the heck is going on?
Canceled OSU football. I know. The whole Big Ten. Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
I don't know. I think Chief Turtle is talking to someone else. I'm not sure. Oh, yep. Yes. Okay, well, hey, that song that I had playing is an original song by a group that I know personally, and they donate almost every bit of the money they earn off of their original music to a charity, one or another. And that song right there is the money from it goes to a charity for to help people with depression and to get them free counseling when they can't afford it.
Okay. All right.
And so that's why I kind of wanted to play that and just let people know that, you know, there's people out there that are making it globally, maybe not here in the States, but I'm weird like that. I'm kind of like, you know, enjoy things from not here.
Right. I'm just talking about what's going on with this whole change of what the hell is Kenny giving up his channel for?
No, he's not giving up the channel at all, honey. Just once a month, what he's doing is he's gonna have somebody that's subscribed to him come and host a show for him.
Ah.
And it can be on whatever they want, and you know, it can, I'm sure, run as long as they want. I'm sure he wouldn't want no 6-hour thing going on, but you know, within reason.
Of course. Of course.
And I think it's a good way to get some of us out of our comfort zone, because I'm strictly behind the scenes for the most part. I help Taya with the police accountability report, and I help a bunch of the auditors, and then of course I'm down to just helping Kenny when it comes to the opposition side of the auditing thing, and that's just because he keeps it within perspective.
Yes,
he doesn't let things get all like crazy personal and like stupid.
Of course.
Childish, you know. He's very mature when it comes to that, and some men who are twice his age are not.
That's true.
I'm not either. I'm not saying that I'm mature by any means, because I'm 9.5 years old on the inside, and there's no change in that.
Well, you're as young as you feel. So if you feel 9, then you're 9.
Oh, no, I feel 90, but I act
90. Oh, sorry, 90.
Yeah, I act 9 though.
Hmm.
But I feel like I'm 90.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling these days myself. Some days I wake up and I don't want to. I don't want to move. You know.
Yeah, my phrase is I can't want to. I just can't want to.
Yeah, so, it's like when you get up. It's like when you get up in the morning. It's like warming up an old car. You got to sit on the side of the bed until your engine gets, gets running.
And sometimes it doesn't run at all.
Right, or your starter gets stuck. Well, I have some stuff up here. There's a few things that I do kind of want to discuss, or bring up, or see.
Bring it on.
Okay, well, so I pulled up a legal article about 25 things the Bill of Rights says the government cannot do. And I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to stick with the First Amendment, since that's where the disagreements pretty much lie. I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about the Second Amendment, auditors? Are you guys like you don't love them either?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the auditors, that Glenn Serial, man, he's just a douchebag. I mean,
we have a lot of horrible people. I'm not even going to say that we don't. I can't say that we don't.
Yeah, it's like that one guy, that one auditor, he just goes out of his way to be so obnoxious. And, I'm glad that I never had to deal with anybody like that when I was on duty, because I would have smacked him with my baton.
Can I legally own a baton just in case?
I
Yeah, and
think
I'd say, hey, film that.
Film the baton smacking them? Oh, that would be good.
Let's say a wooden spoon because they act like children. Vlad, I would love it if you came up here and spoke to, because your idea about the sending out like that little notice or pamphlet or whatever to police departments and like fire departments and places that auditors tend to frequent, to educate them on expectations and reminding them of, I don't know, how easy it is to get rid of what they would call a nuisance or an interruption. One of the things I wanted to bring up yesterday. Now, I left the feed yesterday because it was just getting too hateful. And when somebody happened to mention something about, well, what about officer safety? I don't think I've ever seen an auditor ever once put an officer in danger. I've seen them piss them off. But I don't think I've ever seen any. Now, and if you guys have, please say something, because I would love to check it out. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody in danger from an auditor.
I've missed that stream yesterday.
Yeah, it got hateful. It got ugly in the feed.
Oh boy.
And I kept asking people to just, kind of
chill down.
Well, act your age,
I don't know if I've ever seen an auditor really put a police officer in danger. However, they do make the officer's job a lot more difficult than it would have been if they had just stayed out of it. I mean,
True.
I know they're probably not putting the officers in danger, but they are definitely hindering their ability to do their job correctly.
Well, I think the hindrance falls on, really the officer. He's going to either let that person distract them. I mean, now if they're running their mouths and stuff, that's a different story. But somebody like Irate, who will stand there on the sidewalk and just film and not say anything, just film.
Well, I don't think the officers have a problem with that. It's the auditors that get into the situation. They inject themselves into the situation, and that's what the officers are trying to deal with. Because if you're dealing with one problem and then a second problem walks into your investigation, then you got two problems to deal with at the same time, and it puts the officers, at a disadvantage because they need to do their job correctly, to ensure that the law is followed.
Yes. Now, you are you retired?
Yeah, I'm retired. Yeah, I'm retired.
How many years, and like what, were you a city cop or were you a state patrolman, or?
I did 18 years, and I started out as a deputy sheriff, and then for the rest of my career, I was a police officer, and I retired chief of police of a small town in Ohio.
That is so freaking cool. I have questions for you, but not for like public questions, just questions. So I want to say to hell with my plan. I have questions. How often did you see complaints come in about your officers?
Well, when I was chief of police, yeah, we got some complaints quite frequently. One of my officers was definitely getting more complaints than all the other patrolmen that I had, and I had to tell him that, if we keep getting complaints on you, I'm going to fire your ass. And that's, sometimes you have to do that because you're just one incident away from a lawsuit, and that's what my job was to prevent a lawsuit, prevent the city from any kind of liability like that,
and to keep the integrity of the police force.
Right. Yeah, because you know what, I was not a supervisor that was going to sweep things under the rug. if my officers committed a violation of somebody's civil rights, or if they even just did not follow procedure, I would definitely go after them.
So you didn't have a backroom tasing session with them as punishment or anything?
Oh yeah, I've screamed at officers because it's like when they do something wrong, the city gets sued, and the city is not going to blame the officer. They're going to blame me.
Yeah, that's good. No, it's important because what I think a lot of people unfortunately don't realize, all these auditors and people getting all upset at the police forces and everything else, is that I'm pretty sure that all of the entire police forces across North America anyway, that if something does go wrong, there are the systems in place to investigate and punish where appropriate the police officers involved of an offense or offenses in any case. Right?
Well, yeah, that's the job of the Internal Affairs Division.
Internal Affairs, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
every department has an Internal Affairs Division because, yeah, that is the safety net for officers that cross the line. And I'm not saying officers cross the line a lot, but they have in the past. We all know that.
we're human beings.
Exactly, yeah. And like that cop in Minneapolis that started this whole, thing. Yeah, that's why they have internal affairs, and we really don't want to cover stuff up because it makes us look bad, it makes us look dishonest. So yeah, it's a necessary thing because some officers, they do cross the line.
Yes, they do. How do you guys feel about the always on body cams? I know that someone is trying to bring it up here in one of our counties here in Washington, to where the officers cannot shut off their audio and their video during their shift.
I think, this is my opinion. I think the camera should be on for the entire 8-hour shift.
Even if sorry, but so you're going to be recording when the officer's taking a dump.
Yeah,
well,
that's
not necessarily taking a dump, but I mean the thing is,
on 24/7.
The more information you have, the more background of an investigation that you have, it's just going to benefit the police department.
Oh, fair. If I'm in the middle of my shift, I don't want to be recorded taking a leak or taking a dump, for God's sake. That's my business.
Yeah, I understand that, and that would be an exception. You could, that's definitely when you need some privacy. But when you're out when you're out doing your job and under the authority, especially if I was police chief, I'm going to tell them, if that fucking camera isn't on, you're going to get reprimanded. Because there's always people who say that the police did this and the police did that when the video shows contrary to what they're claiming. So the more video you have, the better. And I'll tell you what, if you're on duty as a police officer on patrol, you don't have any expectation of privacy. That's all on the government's time. You have to do your job.
But I mean, you do have an expectation of privacy when you're taking a piss, for God's sake. Right? That's a little bit private for yourself, isn't it? Even if
you could. Yeah, I'm saying that would be an exception. But I mean, if you're
during your break time or something, like have it your 2:15s and your half hour or whatever it is that you get, depending on, I guess, the hours you're working. I could understand it being shut off during that time, of course, remotely. I think that tamper-proof is a good idea. I also think that it may take away the need for auditors, because that's their whole thing is when if there is a body cam or a dash cam, they can mute it, they can shut it off, they can turn it back on when they feel like it, they can tamper with it. And
no, they cannot. No, they cannot. those systems are protected by a password.
No, I mean, when
And,
they give it to you, when somebody goes in and says, "Hey, I want to request this audio and video," they will.
You're talking about a FOIA request.
Yeah, they will hold some of it back, or they'll mute the audio or whatever. And when they do that, I mean, in my opinion, when they mute that audio or they shut that camera off, they're saying or doing something they're not supposed to be doing or saying, like at least technically illegal or against policy. My local police department here, we don't have body cams in my county.
Yeah, same thing here in our area.
We don't have dash cams in my county.
Yeesh, we have dash cams.
And what happened last year, I'm going to go ahead and pull something up and share it with you guys. It lasts like 4 minutes, but we won't watch the whole thing. I want you guys. Now, the cops did not know they were being recorded when this happened. I want you guys to tell me if you see a gun in this man's hand or not, because I don't see anything, and neither did the eyewitness.
Yeah, I was just laughing at May's comment. Yeah, sorry, wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at her comment. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I can't even like talk and read at the same time. I don't know how Kenny does it. Now I do have like a full 6 or 8 hour video of this if anybody is interested and wants to see everything, because I get it. Let's see. Okay, is that working, you guys? Can you see?
Can see it now, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and I'm going to make this big. Look at his hands before and after the cop pulls up. Did you ever see anything?
The cop didn't do anything, did he?
He just shot and killed him from inside of his car.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
What the
And
heck?
they say they picked up a weapon and put it on the hood of his car, but they never do.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? What the frickin' hell? What the fuck? Okay, go.
Yeah. He's yelling. His hands are in fists, and he's yelling, but there's nothing in his hands.
Right.
And he's just screaming at them, "Why are you fucking with me? Why are you following me? What is your problem?" They said there was a 911 call and a complaint about him, but I have the proof that there was never a 911 call. They pulled up on him and wanted to fuck with him. And it turned into this. And he's dead. And everybody in my county, people who are affiliated with cops and people who aren't, because he was battling his demons and addiction, his life had no value, and so nobody cares.
So now, when was this? When did this happen?
This was last year.
Now, the officer that pulled the trigger, has he been?
Nope, and the prosecutor didn't do nothing. And we have three counties of sheriffs that came in to do the investigation. And oh my God, the files I have are ridiculous. They found no wrongdoing, of course, on the I say of course like I'm talking to the auditing crowd, but for this area, it's of course there's a reason our cops do not want body cams and do not want dash cams.
Well, this is your area. This is your police force. This group of officers here that are all part of this. From what I can see, now I just only see in the first 3 minutes of this, and this is the first time I've heard of the storyline. But that guy could have been taken down just by tackling his ass.
Exactly.
Necessary.
And the thing is, they had no reason to mess with him at all.
Personally, I would have used the taser.
Well, the cop might not have. A lot of departments don't have tasers. Here in our area, you have to call in an officer to bring in a taser, but not every officer has a taser. At least as of last year. So, I mean, tackling is one way to do it, but Chief, what do you think?
I don't like second guessing cops' actions. Did they find a weapon? Did anybody ever actually?
So Aberdeen Police Department, and I can send you I have like the sheriff department's files, I have the police department's files, I have the DA's files, and I got some files that I don't think I'm supposed to have.
Oh, oops.
And of course this video here and a couple other videos from other cameras that were in the area. But and then the 911 log for the day and all that crap. But Aberdeen police picked up a black gun and said it was his. But the sheriff's department has a picture of a silver one that they say is his. They never pick a gun up. And I have the full, like, however many hours it took them to do all this. I have every fucking bit of it.
Now, is this
on video?
Is this an actual security camera at somebody's house?
Yes. This is a security camera at the upstairs of
somebody's home.
Hi, Nolly.
It's like, hi.
Hey.
One thing I noticed the second time in the video
Uh-huh.
is right before he got shot, his left arm, left hand appears to be reaching into his pocket.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was my question. Did they actually find a firearm on him?
Because and what was I'm curious of what he was saying at that time, and with how he was coming onto the car, and when he kind of did the right turn / reaching into the left pocket with his left hand. I'm not saying it's justifiable, but I could see where it looks aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, my point of view is I would have put more distance between my car and him to where I could assess the situation. He drove right up to the guy where he was like almost 6-8 feet away from him, and he just shot him. I would have put more distance between my cruiser and the suspect and tried to have given some verbal command.
Okay, here's another.
I don't think it was the cop in the car that shot him. I think it was the ones that came up from behind that shot him.
No, it was Martinez. It was the one in the car.
Okay, here's another question. If
Yeah.
the officer's coming up on the situation for the supposed first time dealing with this guy, isn't the guns usually kept on your belt? So
yeah, I was going to ask, how easy is it to get it out of there?
He's already got the gun out before, like it looks like before he even gets there.
See, I feel the same way. I feel the same way because I don't know because you got to figure you got your seatbelt on and you got all that heavy equipment and crap like strapped around you. How easy is it to unholster your gun while you're sitting driving behind the wheel?
Well, they taught us that in the police academy. We train for hours and hours and hours how to do that, how to defend ourselves if somebody ambushed us in the car. You have to practice that where you can extricate your weapon from your holster and come up and hit the target as needed. It's not easy. Being a police officer is not easy. And if somebody's trying to kill you, you have to practice a lot to try to prevent that from happening. Because I'll tell you what, in my 18 years, I've had 6 people try to kill me. And, it was only because of my training that I actually went home to my family.
In all fairness, if you count the seconds that the officer pulls up to the time that guy approaches the officer, you're telling me that he's able to unholster his weapon, pull it out, and take a shot in that time, based on what I'm seeing. He already had the gun ready, I think. That's what I think.
Yeah,
well,
he already had the weapon out. Yeah, he already had the weapon out. That's why it was so quick when he discharged the firearm. Yeah, he already had it out.
Which tells me complete, utter ridiculousness. I mean, come on.
And there was also an eyewitness that was probably about 15 feet away from the direction that the man walked into frame from, that watched the entire thing, and he said he never saw a gun. And again, I have the full video from the time that this starts. We'll probably get 40 minutes before it starts, until several hours after they left with his body.
What was the original call?
Did they actually find a firearm?
I never saw a firearm. I never saw them remove a firearm.
I know nobody saw a firearm, but
okay,
did they
Aberdeen says they found a black firearm, and the sheriff's department was given a silver firearm. So I don't know how it can turn colors like that. I mean,
so he did have a gun, though.
No, I don't believe he had a gun. I'm sorry. How could? Yeah. They said he was brandishing a gun, and he was. I'm gonna put a link up here to all the files so that you guys can check it out yourself. Because it does not add up. I'm gonna warn you. The photos, there's thousands of them, and they are very, very, very graphic. So if you've never seen anything like that, please don't click on this link.
No, that video, that whole time after he was shot, is there anything in that video that shows that they were pulling a gun off his person? Or
no, never.
Nothing.
Never.
In that entire video and clip.
Not in the entire
video. They
video.
did not remove the weapon and put it aside, or kick it aside, or anything else.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nolly, what was the original call for?
There was no call. I have the 911 records. There was no call. They said there was. Like, Aberdeen APD lied bigger than shit after this happened, but before this video came out, about what happened, about what went down. And from what they say went down before they knew about the video, compared to the video, it's like two different incidences.
Dude, this is just wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong. Oh.
Here we go. Get shareable link.
And all the officers have been cleared of all wrongdoing.
Yeah, they've all been cleared by the other sheriff's departments that did the investigation, and they've been cleared by the by our prosecutor. I even filed a complaint against the prosecutor and was with the Bar Association. They didn't give a fuck either. So
there was no, even internal affairs, nothing. They made no attempt to press any kind of charges or reprimand against any of these officers. What you're saying?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope, not at all. Not even a little.
Wrongful death suit by the family of that guy.
They tried, and like, they are cock blocked in this county bigger than shit. They couldn't even get the information that I have.
Could this not become federal? Can't this become on a federal level?
I have no idea. I don't know who else to complain to. I mean, I did contact the FBI's corruption department.
Right.
And I never heard back from them or anything. And I sent them everything I had.
Or a state, or the state.
There were no prints on the gun and or anything else. May no prints at all.
Oh yeah, he was wearing gloves. You can clearly see it in the video. I'm being sarcastic there. Now, is there a okay? Now I know there's like the federal side, but there's your internal affairs for your local departments. But is there a state institution that governs and oversees all this, all the police?
Yeah, it's the Attorney General's office.
And
yeah, I've contacted them too.
And
they don't care.
They don't care either.
They don't give a fuck.
Oh, I'd go one.
They didn't even look at these files. They didn't even look at these files that I sent them. And the reason I know that is because if somebody looks at it, I know.
Wow. We had a similar situation a few years back where a poor kid was, he had some definitely mental issues, and he was mentally disturbed on so many levels. I've got to remember the name so I can pull it up. but he ended up getting killed by one of the officers. And there was our force. They went through the process of um, investigating. I think they did charge the one officer and any other officers with um, wrongdoing that ended up being a wrongful death, but it wasn't murder. Based on this, I forget all the intricate details, but my point is at least our side here, they actually took the time to investigate and attempt to press some level of charges against the officers. So this just surprises me, honestly.
Yeah, people, I love this state as far as, it's beautiful and we got a lot of nice people here. But as far as government corruption goes, it's gnarly from top to bottom.
What part of California? Or you said you were in Washington?
Washington, yeah.
What part of Washington? West or east?
Western. I'm over near Aberdeen. That was the Aberdeen Police Department. Where Kurt Cobain grew up and all that crap.
Right. Yeah, I used to work security on the Grand Coulee Dam on the east side of Washington.
Oh yeah, I used to live over there.
You know what, Nolly? You know what you should do? You should run. You should run in the next local election to become some level on your local government.
Yeah, city council is what I am aiming at.
Ah, see, it's something that where you can make an attempt to make some changes to this whole system, and get the word out and get people behind you. Because if you got if the local folk are shocked and outraged by this, and you run for your city council.
The thing is they're not. They're all on the side of the cops. Like the cops literally they doctored a video and had the news put it out. It's so disgusting. That same clip I just showed you, but it's like one hand looks bigger and like shiny almost for a split second, and that's it. And you can tell by comparing the videos that they fucked with that video. And so I have a guy who I've been trying to meet with who is a audio video
specialist.
Yeah, well, he's like a I don't know. There's some weird, crazy technical term for it, but he like does goes to court and serves or helps on trials and stuff, looking at footage to make sure it's authentic or if it's been messed with and all that stuff. And since this is a digital recording, he'll be able to tell, what's been fucked with and what hasn't. And so I have original copies from the news station, and I have, of course, a copy directly from the police station, and then an original copy, like first edition copy, I guess, from the person who owns the camera itself. Because I wanted to make sure that the cops weren't going to fuck with me, because they did. It took me months and months and months to get anything out of them.
It sounds like, you're not going to be able to change much of what's happened on this situation. With the whole situation, if nobody's budging right now, but if you were to affect your energy or put all your energy into preventing this for the next time by going for your council and putting the voice out there and getting all your city people behind you, you could prevent this for the next time, and then make sure that people are there's accountability.
Yes, that actually this case right here is actually what has motivated me into getting involved in that deeply, because I didn't really want to like trying to run for anything or try and take over a seat if it empties, because like we're just nothing but old people around here anyway. But almost every couple of years somebody drops off of the city council and they have a spot open, but they don't advertise it really loud. They kind of hush advertise it. And so I've been keeping my eye out to see if somebody drops out, because I know that one lady's pretty sick and there's someone else who like never shows up. But
do it.
Yeah, I think that it's important to not let anybody else die like that, no matter what's wrong with them. He hadn't broken the law. There was no 911 call.
Well, that's what they say. There's no 911 call. But okay, explain to me
no,
that.
They said there was a 911 call that someone called 911. So I went and I got the files from the entire day.
And nothing, they doctored
and
that.
There's not one phone call.
All right, because you can't tell me that at least, how many cars did I see? 2 cars and another officer show up? Okay, so
the whole department was there.
Right. So you're telling me the entire department showed up all at the same time at the same place for a non-911 call?
Yeah, well, from what I understand, and this is what I read inside the files that they gave me, the cops were seen talking to him, driving real slow on the main drag, and he was seen yelling at them, and then he crossed the street and just kind of stormed off. He didn't run or anything. He just, leave me the fuck alone. Why are you bothering me? I didn't do anything. And that's when, one cop turned into 3 cop cars, turned into 5 cop cars, turned into somebody's dead, and, all the neighboring towns' cop cars are there. And oh my goodness, there's this part where you see the ambulance drive by, and this man's dead already. You see the ambulance drive by, and a good 15 minutes later, it comes back and picks him up. I don't understand. Did you guys ever do that? Like, if you guys shot somebody, did you render aid right away, or did you just, like, I don't know, run in circles and talk to each other for a while?
You asking me?
Yeah.
We always rendered first aid. I mean, the thing is, you have to understand that the police they did not just decide that they're going to go and blast this guy. They got called there somehow. Police officers don't just show up without being called. So they had a call. Obviously, they had a call.
Dispatch, there is a recording of the cops in that car that was talking to him at first, saying that they needed backup. But there was no 911 call, is what I was saying.
Well, it might not have been a 911 call. It may have been just they called the regular number of the office and said, "Hey, this guy's acting strange."
I never did get call records for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, they didn't just show up on their own. They didn't just decide in their mind that they're going to show up and shoot this guy. Somehow they got called.
Did everybody get that link?
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I did.
Now I have another one, and once you guys are done with that one, it's from the sheriff's department. All this stuff here that is in that link, that's all from APD.
Right.
So, and then the sheriff's department has a different one, and then I have another big ass file from the prosecutor.
Yeah, I did.
But I just figured one at a time because it's a lot of information, and yeah, just like I said, the pictures are disturbing.
Like
that was disgusting. Just seeing that video just pissed me off, and I had to come on here and be like, to me that looked like murder. Don't cops have pepper spray?
For me too. That's how I
feel. Couldn't you have just pepper sprayed the guy? There was no need to shoot him. It looked like his hands were in fists. But to me, there was no gun on the hood of the car. It looked like he was not armed. So, and you don't know what he's going through on his head. So that's no excuse. I don't know why they're sticking up for the cops. They should be charged for murder. I don't know, like, take away their qualified immunity because that was bullshit.
But why? But see, now what's the rest of your town think of this?
I'd say probably 10% are on my end of it, and the rest of them are either they don't give a fuck or they are 100% backing the police all the way. Like, even people from my church whom, like, I know personally, and, like, I've shared the information with them, and they just, like, refuse to even look at it.
Okay, here's another thought, too, that you can do. Is, like, 10% is a lot of people, right? if you can get a petition together to start with, I know it sounds, I don't know, I'm just throwing straws out here to grasp that, but like a petition to get everybody who wants this investigation to be reopened and opened up properly and investigated. You get that petition going, you might actually, and then take that up to like the Attorney General and say, look, this is an outrage, Or where
I did try something similar to that last year, and I think I got 7 signatures, and only 2 of them were from this area.
Put it up online.
That's what I did. I put it up on the Grace Harbor's Facebook page, and I put it all over the place.
Put it up online on for everybody on YouTube, and then put the video up, and see how many people put a petition out across the world.
See, now, will those signatures carry any weight if they're not from this area?
I don't think so. Chief, what do you think? If a bunch of people from all over are saying, please investigate this, do you think there might be enough pressure to do something?
Well, it depends. It depends on who you talk to. I mean, if you're upset about the city police, you should contact the mayor's office. If you're upset about like the county sheriff, you should contact the county commissioners.
No,
I'm not sure what agency did this, but there has to be a mayor's office or a government office that supervises them. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, but Chief, what I'm asking you is that if she put the petition up online for everybody around the world, and all of a sudden she got 1 million signatures, would that not put enough pressure on that department or whoever's in charge, so she takes it to say, look, maybe we should do something about this because this is wrong?
To tell you the truth, no.
No. Okay.
You could get a petition with 1 billion signatures, and it's not going to sway. It's not going to sway the investigation.
Okay.
If the prosecuting attorney's office didn't charge them to begin with, they're not going to charge them after you get a petition together.
Wow.
But there's no double
That's
jeopardy.
Unbelievable.
They haven't even officially charged, so there's no, yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm not supporting the police officer that did that. I'm not. I'm just saying that.
I don't think you are.
I was just asking because like that whole, you see, because petitions can, with your local government, pull a lot of weight, for votes or whatever else. But this is beyond everything I've seen.
Well, petitions are like politicians. Politicians are interested in petitions.
So
law enforcement officers are not.
Why don't you get on your local news again, Nolly, and just keep on their ass and say, look, and something's got to get done. Because this has pissed me off. I'm looking at this, and I'm up here on the other side of the continent here.
Where are you at?
I'm in Canada.
Oh.
In Toronto. Ontario.
Okay.
Oh, you're not too far from me, man. I live in Ohio.
I know. Listen, Chief, I was going to say, after all this lockdown is done, we a bunch of us, we all should get together for a big barbecue once the lockdown's over, right?
Oh, hell yeah, man. Porterhouse stands all the way.
I'm well, whatever the barbecue is, I don't care. I just think we all should get together and just hang out one night and just drink and have a good time. And then camp out somewhere.
Sounds good, man. Sign me up.
I'm jealous.
Why?
Because I have nobody close
Damn,
by.
that sounds fun.
Blind Justice moved, and I got no buddies here anymore. They're just all gone.
We got us.
You can come camp with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll just hop in my
I feel the same way, Nolly.
I'll hop in that chair. I'll do like a Back to the Future and grab the back of somebody's car.
Just thumb your way across the country. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know what to say beyond this. This is something has to get done. And how long ago was this? Over a year ago?
This was September of 2019 that this happened.
Okay, so almost a year. Oh.
So Nolly, who was the furthest you took this to? Like the top person?
Oh, I went to the governor and to the AG, the Attorney General's office, and I went to them a few different times about it. I went to the Bar Association about the prosecutor not doing anything. I even showed them, like the paperwork that I got through FOIA, not from her because she wouldn't give me dick, but through the records office there in the county. And like I said, they did not look at any of the files that I sent them.
Well, you got to call Mr. Trump. Get him on board.
See, now
he's not going to listen.
But he's not going to give a crap either,
He's probably going to praise them.
Who knows? I don't know. I'm just.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if you actually could call President Trump and I'd be like, "What the hell are you thinking?"
I know somebody who has actually gotten to talk to him, and I kind of went, "Kerr, you suck," but not because I was jealous or anything, but because how dare you give him 1 ounce of fucking respect. I'm sorry, Trump lovers out there. I get it. He's just he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. They're all bad dudes. So I really think they all belong in Gitmo. Every fucking last one of them.
You talking about Trump and his people?
I'm talking every president that is still alive.
Ooh.
Every cabinet member. Every big judicial, the federal courts judges.
Right.
Minimally. Because they know what's going on in those lower courts, and they don't give a shit either. It's
all about building on agenda.
I think all the mayors, all the governors, all the attorney generals, all the congressmen, they all belong in prison.
Mm. Have you tried reaching? Are you able to, or have been able to, talk to the guy's family at all?
Yeah, I actually, because their lawyer couldn't even get the stuff that I got, so I had to give them my files, copies of all my files, to give to their attorney, because their attorney couldn't even get it. Like, just some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, and in my opinion, the attorney was just saying he couldn't get it because he doesn't want to do his fucking job, because they're all good old boys around here. It's a small area.
It sounds like I'm sorry, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's fact or not, but this screams cover up to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys something here in just a second that will show you exactly what this fucker said before they knew about the video. When I say fucker, I mean the chief of police.
Okay.
This is why I hate most cops. Like, some of them are good, most of them.
My brother-in-law is a cop, and he's not allowed here in uniform.
Well, Darth, you like Chief, right?
Oh, I like Chief a lot. I think Chief is great.
He said he hates most cops.
Oh, Chief, you're fine. You're fine, Chief.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did I do?
Honestly, like,
you're both cool.
We don't have those problems here, but every interaction I've had with any officer, and for a variety of different reasons, not that I don't have a criminal record or anything, it's just things with old family issues, and I got pulled over a couple times. I've had always good experiences with our cops here in Canada, so it just I don't know. I get surprised. It shocks me to see this stuff over and over again.
That's funny, because you know what? Here in the States, we've had reports of the RCMPs, man, being really way more tougher than we are.
Oh yeah, we our RCMP holds a high reputation though. That goes way back.
Yeah, they're professionals from the word go.
They don't take no shit from nobody. If they can.
Who are they?
The RCMPs.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They're mostly out west in the western provinces, but they do reside, I think, in the northern Ontario here. And as their jurisdiction, as well as Northern Quebec and so on. But they are considered your state police, same level.
Okay. Are those
Actually,
the guys
they're
with the red
more like
jackets
the
and the
FBI.
hats on?
Okay, FBI. All right. Okay, if you want to call it FBI, for lack of anything else. No.
Oh, so the FBI. Okay. All right. The Canadian version. Okay.
You don't want to mess with them.
You guys ready to watch this?
Oh yeah, we're ready. Sorry, Nolly.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, run the
roll it.
video.
All right. I'm going to mute my.
Okay, there's one officer. One cop. Okay.
Yeah, he's walking.
See, I would have put more distance between myself and the suspect. I wouldn't have driven up that close.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. See. Okay. There's one. There's another officer, and there's the other one. Holy shit. So.
Wouldn't the first officer call an ambulance instead of having the whole gang come out?
Well, yeah, that's the first thing you do is call for EMS. Or
and then
I don't know why they didn't do fucking CPR. You know, because he was on the ground and they should have done CPR.
Yeah, isn't that what you guys should do?
That's what we're trained to do.
Because I'm not a cop, obviously, so and I only go by what I've seen and experienced from cops, which isn't really good. But
we are trained to render assistance in the effect that somebody is shot. We are trained to render assistance. That's our first duty, and we have to hold that scene until the fire or EMS get there. So. They didn't even try CPR. So I think that's, as the chief of police, that's one thing that hits me right off the bat. You know, they didn't do CPR. They never made any attempt to help him.
Now, let me ask you, isn't that the last thing to do to shoot somebody? I mean, that's got to be the last thing you got to do.
Yeah, that should be. Like the officers drove up. Give him a fucking chance. I'm sorry. Give him. Pardon my language. Give him a fucking chance to even to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, when you're a police officer, you have they call it the level of force continuum. You start out with verbal commands, then you go to maybe like a chemical agent like pepper spray, and then maybe after that you go to the baton and try to do some strikes and sweeps. And then after that, you know, if the suspect is overcoming all of that resistance, then you go to your firearm. Or, you know, if you have a taser, there would be a taser between the baton and the firearm. But if you're dealing with somebody who's for instance, on a lot of chemicals, like say you're dealing with somebody who's been smoking meth for the last 6 hours, and if you tase them, it's not really going to work because their brain is so hopped up on the chemicals that they've ingested. It's really a hard situation to deal with because you're not quite sure what you need to do to overcome the threat.
True, but the point is, like, that officer did not even make steps 1, 2, and 3 to de-escalate this situation. So yeah, from just a local citizen, I see.
Yeah, it just looked like, you know, from what anybody saw, he just like rolled up on that guy and just shot him.
Well, yeah, I would have put more distance between myself and the suspect. I would not have rolled up that close. But I don't know the amount of experience this police officer had. He might have been a new police officer. He might not have been used to the job. So, you know, there's a lot of factors you have to consider. He did make a mistake. Number one, he went too close to the suspect. Number two, he shot him without verifying that the threat was credible. So there's a couple of things going on here, you know.
Oh yeah, I see it. Anyway, go on, Nolly. We'll see what he says.
So my question leads to this:
Okay,
there's a
well,
monopoly
let
on
me
police
back up again.
as a
Yeah,
whole,
sorry.
and this is a
Hear
widespread thing across the
himself.
country where
warnings had been given to put the gun down. Unfortunately, the suspect did not heed those warnings. My officer didn't fire a number of rounds. I don't know how many at this point.
See, they told him to put the gun down. Weird, right?
Boy,
There's I don't see any guns.
Me neither.
Okay, let
Well,
me ask
you know,
But now, when I show you the video from the news station, it will look like possibly there's a gun, but they make the footage grainier
my
and they
question
like
leads
mess
to
with
this:
it.
like there's a monopoly of violence, and it's police as a whole, and this is a widespread thing across the country where police officers shoot people and get paid vacations, right? So they get administrative leave, and they're not brought up on murder charges until after a long process. So my question is, are you going to hold the police officers and city officials to the same level of accountability as the general public?
Okay, so I will tell you, you and I had one-on-one discussion in my office, and we had this very same discussion. And so, as you're aware, you may reference a possible litigation, so I'm not going to respond to any of the specifics with any of the things. Dale, if you have any police department, I will tell you as the chief of police, it is my responsibility to make sure that they follow the rules, to make sure that they follow standard operating procedures, and that is my responsibility, and I make sure the citizens will get that.
So as a policy, then you're going to do policy but not police the police? Who polices the police? Like, that's the question. If they break the law, if they violate the rights of the people, do you arrest them for breaking the law and then prosecute them like a regular person? Or do you say, hey, hold on, we need to evaluate what you did, but you maybe look at policy, and then maybe bring charges? But that's what's happening across the country. I'm asking for equality, transparency, openness, and equal rights, and not preferential treatment because of the bad thing done.
So I'll give you my last response, or my same response again. My responsibility is to hold my folks accountable. We have standard operating procedures, which are best practices. And
don't take him.
You know, the wonderful thing with modern technology, things like that. And we are out in the city, and you'll have cameras all over you. When I went out to the property, there was a half a dozen cameras on me.
If the audio kind of jumbled up.
You probably figured out I have no problems with public speaking. I have
No, it's fine on my end.
I am all about transparency. I'm going to be transparent. With
Sounds like he's choppy.
With our organization, in some aspects, it may not be flattering, but it is what it is. We have got to know where we're at before we can move forward.
You guys can find this on Blind Justice's channel.
Are
It's like
you
from like a year
kidding
ago.
me? He's on paid leave.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna grab
See,
the video that they gave.
that's what
that the
pisses me
police
off
gave
about
the following
cops.
day after this video that I have went out on Facebook. Grace Harbor County decided to go ahead and give the news channels around here their own version of the footage.
Yeah, let's see that.
Yeah, it's very telling about our police department here, and it's upsetting as all get out.
Well, if you put up a petition, I'd be the first thing. If it would work, I'd be the first to sign the damn thing.
Me too.
Hello again.
I will help make sure that cop loses his job and freedom. Because that's bullshit.
The administrative leave is standard operating procedure for pretty much every department in the United States.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but administrative leave is implemented almost immediately upon the initial investigations. And then if charges are brought,
See, look.
if no charges, then they're back on paid, back on duty.
That goes back to the Internal Affairs Division. That's
right.
The agent. That's the division that investigates these violations.
Right. Okay.
Do you see what they've done to the video? Do you see how it's blurry all the way around him, around his waist, and around that hand right there?
Don't see it.
Blurry. It's because
no video.
you see the yellow circle? Oh. Really?
So
Oh shit! What the hell? That's
amateur.
rude as hell. I am. I'm totally an amateur. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing over here.
Hey,
It's all
excuse
good.
me.
You're
If it
good.
doesn't
I want
work,
coffee too.
yeah, I always say if it doesn't work, get a bigger hammer.
Okay, this right here.
Kenny, no, cops should not investigate other cops. It has to be
Why
by
is
the
it
Internal
not
Affairs
showing
Division.
up?
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but the Internal Affairs Division are police.
Yeah, but okay, listen, let me tell you something. I've been a cop for 18 years. The Internal Affairs officers are not cops. And when I say that, you have to understand there are patrol officers, there's cops, there's highway patrol, and then there's internal affairs. And I really think that internal affairs is very important because it regulates cops that may step over the line. But if you're at a police barbecue, believe me, internal affairs is not invited.
Chief, can I borrow your
I'd agree with Chief on that one.
Can I borrow
can't
your
get this to come up.
borrow waiting Chief? Can I
I've
borrow
tried
your
a couple of
taser?
times now.
Loud and I can't hear a damn thing.
What?
Too many people talking at once.
Sorry.
Too much background noise.
Are you getting background noise off of me?
Someone.
I'm growed, and so are my kids. So I have nobody here but me and my partner. That's it. And silent as a stone over here.
I just had my door open. The dogs out. My neighbors playing music so loud, and I just had to shut the door up again. So if that was me, I apologize.
No, that's why I use mute as a push to talk.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Jeez, eh?
Okay, Kenny, I need help because this ain't working. I wonder if it's because it's Fox. It's not going to let me share it.
And if it still doesn't work, get an even bigger hammer.
I will post a link to.
No, it needs to be that cop. All of them need to be prosecuted. Internal Affairs.
If she needs someone to drop down, I can drop down.
The prosecution.
Yeah, I'll drop down.
The prosecution.
I don't have a clue if that's the issue or not.
If you're trying to share a screen share, there's 6 of us, so I can drop down. It's not a big deal.
I don't want nobody to drop down.
It's fine. Oh, someone dropped already.
I was going to pop in real quick. Yeah, no, I can only have 6 people up. So if there's 6 people up, you're not going to be able to share your screens. There's only 6 of us.
Oh,
so
I see.
Someone did have to drop down. Okay, guys, that's enough for me. I'm gone now.
Lame.
Okay, see you, Kenny.
Kenny, hit me up for the next live stream.
Sure, no problem.
Oh yeah, I almost got it.
Yeah.
At the time, Aberdeen police shot and killed 41-year-old Christopher Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's kind of like jumbly again, Nolly.
Yeah, it's a little it's not coming through smooth.
You've got bandwidth issues.
Yeah, somebody's playing a video game next to me. I bet you it's yeah, online and stuff.
If you're on cable TV, or I should say cable, you got too many people in the neighborhood using the internet.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, yeah.
Department releasing a new
we have our
that says it shows a man killed in a police shooting.
On private,
did
but
have
people
a
still
gun
get to
at
use
the
it.
time.
Stupid.
Aberdeen police.
See what this picture looks like.
shot and killed. Patrick yelled at an officer, saying he didn't want to go back to prison. Police say Fitzpatrick pulled out a gun and then refused orders to drop it. Earlier this week, we had showed you surveillance video of the confrontation that raised some questions about the police account of what led up to the shooting. And then yesterday, the Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office sent us this video screenshot. It appears to be from the same surveillance video, circling right there.
And
what
it
they
is.
say is a gun.
But you see the blur around it? There's like a circle within the circle.
Felony drug possession charges. The Grays Harbor Sheriff's Office, part of the team investigating
They altered the
shooting,
video.
say that the investigation is still ongoing. So we'll keep
You
A
got
settlement
me,
has been proposed.
Well, the thing is, if that ever does go to court, they can forensically tell whether or not it was played with.
That was the word I was looking for. That guy that I keep trying to meet with, he is a AV forensic guy.
Analysis.
Yeah, that's the other word.
The original clip. Can you just pull that up again, and around that same screen?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I want to see something. Something just might have caught my eye that I don't know. Just work with me just for a second.
Now, mind you, this one I hear, like I zoomed in a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. I just want to see that same time frame again, because something. Yeah, I'll explain in a second. Let me get it going. I could be way off base. I could be not seeing something correctly, but if you don't mind shooting me just for...
Tell them, whoever it is, they have to go away. Oh, my nurse is here, you guys. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Cornbread, hamburger gravy, mashed potatoes. I'll let you get silverware.
Oh, my dinner is here.
Oh, no. Okay.
So, is anybody pissed off that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 canceled their football season?
I actually like from the start of the whole Kaepernick thing, I foregone all football. I don't even miss it anymore. I get entertained by my daughter's rodeos.
A cluster F if I've ever seen one. No, this is, yeah, like if that was definitely doctored, then that's like tampering with evidence. That's a charge in itself.
That's a felony.
It is a felony, right? Okay. Yeah, good to know for myself.
Yeah, tampering with evidence. And not only that, but if you tamper with evidence as a police officer, it's an enhanced violation.
I hope so. I truly hope so. For this community, I truly hope so, because this is not the first death that was that shit ain't right about, but it's the first one that was caught on camera. And like I said, they didn't know the day that the chief went on TV and said what happened, and that they were telling him to drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Like, nobody said drop anything. I'm sorry, that guy pulled up too quick. There's no way that he told him to drop the gun 3 or 4 times, which is what, per the chief's words, before shooting him. There was not enough time to say that shit.
No,
I mean, he pulled up and bam, shot him.
Well, this is where
the chief of police's job is to protect his soldiers. And I'm going to tell you something.
But it's not, though.
Even when one of your soldiers, makes a mistake, I'm going to tell you something. As the chief of police, you have to support your troops. That's
okay.
He's so much more than a mistake.
But Chief, this goes beyond just the chief of police supporting his troops. This is the fact that what Nolly's saying is that the DA, the prosecutor, all the way up to the attorney general level are all just washing their hands of the whole situation. And that's, one of these people should be stepping in, above the chief of police and start, investigating this. And then if you see this stupid thing about tampering with evidence, damn right somebody should be stepping in. Right there.
Yeah, I understand that. But if the prosecuting attorney's office does not take up charges, then it's a non-issue. I'm not saying that the police officers did right. I'm not saying the police officers did wrong. But if the prosecuting attorney's office does not take up the case for prosecution, then there's nothing you can do.
I hate being told no. Don't tell me no. You shut your mouth. Never tell me no again. No's a bad word.
It is.
No.
It is.
I don't like it. Stop.
But Nolly, and this is where you or somebody needs to get into position of relative power to make future changes. If you can't fix this situation, you can fix any future potential ones down the pipe.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of the solution, if nobody's doing anything about this, it's unfortunate and it's pissing everybody off. But you need to get somebody in power like yourself or somebody that starts, bringing their voice into the public eye as a council member or whatever, to say that enough's enough. We need to hold people accountable for their actions no matter what, and take the investigation. You're telling me there's no investigation done? Pretty much.
No, they did. Sheriff's Department from this county and the two counties on either side of us, Mason and the one that's south of us. They came here and they did an investigation. That's how they do it when it involves a police department.
Yeah, independent departments. Yeah.
And their report. Once you guys are done looking at the APD stuff, just get a hold of me and I will send you all the stuff that the sheriff's department sent me. And you'll see that Aberdeen Police Department shows that he had this silver chrome gun. Well, the sheriff, between the Aberdeen Police Department and the sheriff's department, that gun went from chrome to black. And the sheriff's department mentions nothing at all about the chrome gun.
How long did
and I don't even think it's the same.
He had a firearm.
They say
he
did. They say he did.
He had a firearm.
Dude, he didn't. You can watch the entire video when they cut his clothes off.
Dude, you could conceal a small firearm in the palm of your hand if you have the right
They never
weapon.
take it off of him. APD says they put the gun on top of the car.
The report reads he had a firearm.
Yeah, that's what the report reads. Yes, but I cannot say. I can't say he had one. He never had a fucking gun. That's what the goddamn problem is.
Well,
they are lying.
They cataloged in the report that he did have a firearm.
They cataloged it. That means they're being honest.
Well, I mean, there's multiple police officers doing the same report and investigation, and if 9 goddamn cops say he had a gun, he probably had a gun.
No, I'm telling you, there was an eyewitness that was right there the entire fucking time, 15 feet away. Read his statement.
Now, has the gun been shown in evidence?
Yeah, on from.
Or a gun.
Like I said, from APD to the county, though, it switches from one gun to a different gun. And yes, it was added to evidence. There was no fingerprints on it. That man was not wearing gloves. I mean, I got pictures of every article of clothing he had on.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything. There was no gloves.
Now,
so in order for that to be in his pocket, and the gun is huge too. It's not a little gun. It's a big fucking gun.
Now, the thing is, Chief, I'm not saying that anything against whatever you're saying there about a gun or no gun, but if the officer in his report, if he writes he had a gun, then you've got to be 100% sure. Provide the fucking gun, the gun. Now, if he had put in the report, because he shot him, when he shot him, he says, I believed he had a gun, so I was in fear of my life. That becomes a whole different aspect. That never was stated, was it, Nolly?
Hey, I'm sorry for yelling.
It's okay, but it was. Am I right? Like the officer was for sure said he had a gun, not I believed he had a gun.
He had the gun on them. He told him to drop the gun several times. It's in the report when you guys read it.
In that 1 second. In that one and a half.
Three or four times, yeah. 3 or 4 times he was told to drop the gun, or he would shoot him.
So that guy's able to react that quick. Like if somebody, even when my wife asked me to do something, it takes me minutes to react, not 3 seconds. I mean, Chris, that'd be dead long ago.
Let me just answer it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not gonna let a fucking suspect shoot at me first.
No.
Just because I think he doesn't have a fucking gun. I'm going home to my family. I am going home to my whole, thing. I am not going to goddamn let some son of a bitch shoot me because I'm not sure he has a fucking firearm.
Understood.
I'm going to tell you something. Mm-hmm. If you've never worn a badge and you've never served 1 minute on patrol, you really don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No.
Because you've never been in that situation. You've never been that scared. You get out on a suspect at 2:30 in the morning, and he comes out and it's a goddamn like an oil field worker, and he's drunk and he's got a firearm. I'm not gonna goddamn let him shoot me first. I'm gonna shoot him first. So I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, all of you people who have no idea what law enforcement is about, don't fucking say shit because you don't have any idea what the hell you're talking about. I am not going to let somebody shoot me first just because I have the ability to shoot back at them.
Right. Now, Chief, I understand that, and police officer does, your safety comes absolutely first, but the timing of this video and the timing of the situation says if the officer gave him plenty of time to react, now nobody sees this guy pulling anything or making an attempt to swing his firearm in his direction.
Ron.
Number 2.
No,
Ron.
I also said that I would have put more distance between me and the suspect.
No, but he also didn't give him enough time to react to, like, just to settle down. Like, I mean, like,
I'm not going to give him any time to react because I'm going home to my family. I'm not getting killed by some son of a bitch who's crazy on the side of the road.
No, so why is he shooting for the chest instead of shooting for the crotch instead? Or
you can shoot somebody in the legs and hit the femoral artery, and you're still going to kill them.
Right, but at least he's got a chance to live.
Oh, bullshit! That's not how we're trained.
Okay. 2 things: you're more likely to miss if you're going to go for a limb.
Okay. Yeah. Good point.
And 2, he was actually when the officer decided to shoot, he clearly had shifted from his right. It was reaching towards his left, towards his pocket or whatever. That is an aggressive move that points to looking at like he's going to move towards a firearm. I'm sorry. I agree with Chief that when you have to make a split second decision, if you're looking at you guys want to go home that night, you might have to make that decision to shoot.
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel bad that the guy lost his life, but he made that. That is on that guy's decision that he made that move.
True. Okay.
And the police should not be blamed for that, for the actions of somebody who committed a major felony. And, I don't care what kind of soul searching you're doing. I was on the road. I was in the line of fire. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going home to my family. I will drop any motherfucker in my path that prevents me from going home to my family. And that's the way it is.
Now, what was this guy? This guy just has some mental issues is what he had?
He was one of the drug addicts that was living in the homeless encampment downtown.
Okay. All right.
That does not mean his life did not have value.
No.
That does not mean that people didn't love him.
None of us are saying that.
What I'm questioning is, number one, okay, now it might have been, as Chief is saying, yes, that the officer might have felt threatened. I'm not saying that he didn't or anything like that, because we weren't in the car, we weren't face to face with that, right there. But at the same time, like, where's the gun that they claim? Now, you see, now you're taking it to the next level. Like, if there's no gun produced that this guy actually had on his person, now there's a cover-up. Now there's tampering with evidence. Now, see, so like it goes above and beyond the fact that he might have felt threatened in that situation. Nobody's denying that. I think it's just so they have to investigate the tampering of evidence side at the very least. Somebody has to.
Yeah, because if that man truly, if they felt that he was not
tamper with, though.
The fact that they claim there's a gun that has no prints on it.
Well, there obviously was a gun found at the scene because they cataloged that in the report.
But that's not the gun that they gave to the sheriff's department. That's not the same gun that they cataloged into their report.
How do you know?
Because I have the fucking files, man. How many times do I gotta say it?
No, you can have the file, but the thing is he had a gun.
Pictures of the
that
gun.
Was in
there's
the
pictures
report.
of the gun from APD, and there's pictures of the gun from the sheriff's department. They are two different guns.
But I've also
huge.
I've heard stories where officers have lied on the report to say that there was a gun just to get out of whatever the situation. There has been situations like that in the past.
Okay, I've been in law enforcement for 18 years, and I never knew an officer to lie on his report.
You got lucky on that part, it sounds like.
I just want to jump in for a second here. Okay, now, Chief, the thing is, I mean, maybe not you personally, but look at the history of the LAPD. You know the history of the LAPD is just horrible, right?
I grew up in Los Angeles, so you better be clear on this.
Well, they have a bad history of corruption in the LAPD. They've since cleaned up.
What years are you talking about?
The early 90s and the 80s, for sure.
Okay, the late 80s and the 90s, they had the Rodney King riots, and I was living in Los Angeles, so I'm going to tell you something. Daryl Gates, who was the chief of police at the time, did the best he could with the troops he had. And after Rodney King happened, all of the law enforcement officers in Los Angeles were assaulted. They were verbally abused. They were sustaining injuries that you wouldn't even believe. So let me tell you something. There's two sides to that story.
Absolutely, but you can't deny the fact that there was corruption there that led to that situation. Not just that situation. There are many situations. Cop watching began in the 80s in Los Angeles because of the way the cops were handling themselves in LA. So there is a history of it. I mean, I don't think anybody can deny that cops are human. You guys are human, and you guys have a bad day. Something happens. The point is that just because you personally don't know a bad cop doesn't mean that a bad cop that would lie on a statement doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you 100%. When I was chief of police, and I suspected one of my officers of being corrupt, I'd fire his ass.
Right, and that's good. That makes you a good officer. You're accountable for your people's action, but it's not always like that. And I think this is one of those cases where you have a gun that doesn't have any prints on it. I mean, that's not going to hold up in court.
There's a lot of unanswered questions.
And there's no prints on it. It's like, well, we don't have any. There's no proof that he was actually carrying this gun. There's no prints on it. That would never hold up in court. I think that's what the point Nolly's trying to make here is.
It wouldn't hold up in court. But I mean, there's very rare cases that firearms that are recovered do not have fingerprints on them. Firearms have a very certain metallic composition, and when a finger touches that metal, the oil and the DNA of that finger imprints itself on that metal. And there are fingerprint experts that can take that information and put it into a case, and they can, they can prosecute somebody for just a finger on the firearm.
Well, yeah, you're right, but that's not what happened in this case. See
No,
what I'm saying? That's not what happened.
But Kenny, Nolly, Chief, everybody, there's still, from what I'm seeing, is that there's still a lot of unanswered questions in this case that there's nobody's answering and putting.
Okay, let me just say something. I am not supporting the cop in this situation.
No,
I would have put myself way farther distance than this officer drove up. He drove up right to him where he was like 6 or 8 feet away. I would not have done that. I would have parked like maybe 30, 50 feet away, and I would have started giving him verbal commands. I would not have just applied my firearm.
Right, but there are, you see, Nolly, has there been a final report issued in all these documents?
Yeah, it's from the Sheriff's Department, and it is, I can hang on if you give me a minute. I'll go ahead and grab it, and I'll go ahead and post that link.
I don't have to see it right now, but the thing is, now, are these questions absolutely answered to a T? We're all,
yeah.
according to somebody. Okay. See that? Still, so
according to them, everything is answered, but if you take, oh, crap. I'm losing, my battery's dying on my ear thingies.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Nasty Nathaniel actually brings up a good point. He says, the cop that he was convicted of making threats against nearly 20 years ago was later indicted for perjury for falsifying police reports. So it does happen. See, Chief, I mean, I'm sure you know it does happen. I mean, I'm not trying to say you don't know that.
It has happened in the past. I'm not saying, I mean, you're talking about probably less than 1% of all cops have
yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I am absolutely embarrassed by cops that do that. I always did my job the right way. I didn't want to violate anybody's civil, rights. I didn't want to violate anybody's, anything.
Right.
And the thing is, some officers, okay, and I apologize for these assholes. There are some officers that do the job the wrong way. And it's a fact, and there's nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do about it is when we discover them, we fire their asses.
Right. Now, that's
there's some cops that get into it. Like when I got into law enforcement, I wanted to help people. When some of these other assholes get into law enforcement, all they want to do is fuck with people. And it's not really the agency's fault. It's the individual officer that chooses to act like that. And that's what makes us all look bad.
And you have the checks and balances to make an attempt at trying to make sure everything stays on the up and up. But the old adage of absolute power corrupts absolute.
Well,
right?
that's why we have internal affairs.
It looks like internal affairs dropped the ball on this one, from the sounds of it, without going through all the documents.
Well, I'm not sure about the internal affairs on this department, but you know what? I mean, it's like being a cop is hard. Being an internal affairs investigator is even harder. So it's like, I'm not saying the cop did the right thing. He probably didn't. I would have put way more distance between my car and him and assessed the situation. But some police officers are just not as professional as some of us else.
But that's where that body cam on the officer that was face to face with him would have come in handy with the audio, because you could actually hear what was being said to see what was going on, instead of relying on just a verbal report and memory.
Yeah. All right. So we're doing something. We were doing something different here. Nolly lost power. Nolly, you can come back up if you want. But next month we're going to do it differently. Chief Tuttle will host it next month.
I was gonna say I didn't get a chance to jump in. No, we don't want to have Chief on. I have a local squirrel here that wants to come on and do the stream.
Well, it has to be a subscriber. That's the thing. I want it to be a subscriber.
Okay, if I get them to subscribe.
You get them to subscribe, okay. That's fine. You can get them to subscribe, but it'll have to be the following month because Chief already asked, volunteered to do it. So,
fine.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I thought I thought it went well. I thought Nolly did a great job. She was nervous coming in. So, yeah, Taco, no problem. All right, so yeah, she's still posting a bunch of links and all that up. Yeah, it's just interesting. So, well, I'm gonna go around. Anything to say before we sign off here, Chief Tuttle? Last words.
You know what? I really appreciate you shouting out my channel, and I really enjoy your channel, and I always love your updates. And you know, I don't mean to sound too like stern. You know, I'm pro police. Everybody knows that I'm pro police. And but you know what? Hey, when cops make mistakes, I'm willing to admit it. You know, I mean, you know, it's like one of those things that not everybody's perfect, but you know, I really like your channel, Kenny, and I appreciate you having me on. And you take care.
You too. Scott, what about you?
Chief, you're just a crusty old man, from what I can hear. So, all good. Keep it up. Just giving you a hard time. No, I'm enjoying the coming on and just you know, I wouldn't say arguing, but you know, animating our conversation somewhat.
Constructive arguing. Constructive arguing.
Word. You know, and it's been good. I appreciate it. You know, coming on like this. And just.
Yeah, I don't consider it arguing because you know what? A lot of the things that we talked about tonight, I agree with. I agree that cop made a mistake. You know, I'm not like you know, opposing your point of view, but hey, I love coming to this channel, man. It's always a good time. So everybody, hey, you take care of yourself, and hey, this is Chief Tuttle, the Country Cop. All units, stand by.
Oh, beautiful. Well said. No, thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Guyver, you have any last words?
Yeah, well, just that stuck in the YouTube matrix will find me rather crustier. I'm retired. I just started Medicare, and although I'm not a police officer, excuse me, never have been. Let me take this.
I'm just saying I say it with affection to everybody when I say stuff like that. So
yeah, I know. I'm just being like a mirror, throwing it back. But
throw it back at me. I don't care.
Yeah, that's all right. No, I'm no shade meant. But what I'm saying is, I do have experience being around police officers most of my life. My father was an officer for 26 years. I worked in dozens of police stations all over the state, from the central to the northern part of the state, installing all kinds of communications lines. And I know that all police officers are human. And being human means you have faults, and no one is perfect. And unfortunately, there are bad individuals in every profession.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that we all can agree upon, that not every cop is perfect. Not every cop is going to do the right thing every single time. Just like not every auditor is perfect. Not every auditor is going to do everything at the same time. Every single profession, there's a bad apple. And unfortunately, the media likes to really get to promote those bad apples and not so much the good apples, which I think is something they need to work on. But thank you, Chief, for joining me. Thanks, Doug. Guyver, thank you. Nolly, thank you. And it's okay for getting passionate, because, you know, we're all passionate about something, and it's okay to get passionate. I mean, we got through it. We got through it, and
Shout out.
Everyone's still friends afterwards, and we had a good time. Jimmy, thanks. Yeah, you missed a little bit of it, but that's okay. Just one last thing, guys. Just make sure you guys subscribe to Nolly. I think if we can get Nolly past 1,000 subs, she'd feel the need to start doing more stuff on her channel. So I think if we can I think she's almost at 800 now, so like 200 more subs, and we could get her to really start doing something. We could say, you know what, Nolly, we subscribe to you. We demand content. So maybe we can do something like that.
Don't forget my channel. I'll tell you what.
Chief,
Chief. Let's get Chief up to 1,000. Dude, he can start doing some live streaming and all that.
Chief who?
And then subscribe to Diver too. Subscribe to everyone that was in chat or whatever. And guys, thanks for showing up. And one last thing, I just put the membership button. I pressed it, so now you guys can join, become a member. You guys will get 2 extra videos a week. And then if you join the next package, it's you get 2 live streams a month specifically for you guys. But I don't want to start the live streams until I at least get 10 people in that. That way, there's not one person in there, and because that would be a really, really boring live stream. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. And
thank you, everybody. This has been fun.
Take care.
Take care, everybody. I'm out.